Hey everyone, welcome to your sweat reformer class. This class is going to be a little bit more high intensity, a few little cardio bursts throughout the class just to really get the heart rate up and get our sweat on. It's going to be super fun, but as always I'll be teaching this class in layers so you can make this one as hard and challenging or as chill as you like. Just take it at your own pace, make sure you have a bottle of water close by. And for this workout all you need is your reformer and your beautiful selves, no other props are needed. We're going to be starting our class today on one red spring for a bit of mobility and a bit of upper body warm up today. Make sure your foot bar is all the way up and let's get started. We're going to start to kneel on our carriage facing towards our foot bar. So knees come down, toes just tuck up against your shoulder post. Hands come onto your foot bar, shoulder width apart. And let's come into a nice puppy stretch. You're going to start to glide the carriage out, hinging from the shoulders. As you drop into the belly, find that nice extension through the spine. Keeping tailbone up to the ceiling. Our hips are stacked over knees. Make sure we're not dropping our hips to heels. The hips stay up. Find the nice extension through the spine. Nice stretch through the shoulders. Then as you exhale, you're going to round through the belly. Belly pulls up. Then you're going to start to pull the carriage in to glide those shoulders back over the foot bar. And repeat. Inhale, we drop the belly. We glide the carriage out, hinging from the shoulders. Keep the tailbone up. Find that nice puppy stretch here or puppy pose. Lovely stretch for the spine and shoulders. And then you exhale to round through the belly, scooping the belly up to pull that carriage back in, shoulders over wrists. Let's take two more just like that. Nice and slow, your own pace, enjoying this nice stretch before the workout begins. Maybe get a little bit lower each time, ribs sinking down to spring. Exhale, round, pull the belly up, scooping the belly up, shoulders come over wrists. One more time here. Inhale, sink it away, keep those hips up, tailbone to the ceiling like a happy little puppy. Beautiful, enjoy that one last stretch here, and exhale, round, scoop and pull back in, shoulders come over wrists. Stay in that half plank position here. So our tailbone is tucked, scooping to that lower belly to find our beautiful half plank. We have a long line from the crown of our head down to our knees. We're going to stay in this half plank, come into some heavy wheelbarrow. So still that heavy red spring. Let's inhale, we glide out from the shoulders, hinging from the shoulders to glide the carriage away as far as you can. Then exhale to pull the carriage slowly back in, shoulders come over wrists. And repeat. Exhale, press against the heavy spring. We glide the carriage down the rails. And inhale, let it glide back in. So warming up the core here, but also warming up those shoulders predominantly on our heavy spring. The further you hinge and glide that carriage out, the heavier it's going to feel. Beautiful. So really press against that heavy spring. Exhale to glide it out. Good. Keep drawing that core up and in like you're doing for a really tight pair of jeans. Keep those lower abdominals engaged. Thinking shoulders stay down away from ears the entire time, especially as you pull in. Glide those shoulder blades down your back. Beautiful. Let's get the upper body nice and warm before you lie down and get the lower body warm. Beautiful. Let's go for 10 more seconds here on our wheelbarrows. Let me turn this into our carriage shoulder press. Let's hold our wheelbarrow out in 5. In 3, 2, and 1. Glide the carriage out, hold, keep that tailbone tucked, keep your chest low. Now from here, we inhale to bend the elbows, pull the carriage in, chest to bar. Exhale, we press the arms long, press the carriage down the rails. And again, inhale, bend, chest comes to bar. Exhale, press. It's kind of like a push-up, but it's a forward and back motion, not an up and down. So inhale, the carriage glides in. Exhale, we press away. Nice and strong here. Powerful movement for the shoulders, for the chest. Keep shoulders down away from ears. Keep that tailbone tucked. We're still in our half plank. We're not dropping through that belly and we're not piking those hips. Give me final 10. Lying down for some footwork after this. You've got last 5. Getting nice and warm for 4, 3, 2, and bring it in for 1. Sit those hips back to heel and give those wrists a quick little roll. Alrighty, while we're here, let's set our springs for our double leg footwork and some hip bridges coming up. So we're not going too heavy for our double leg footwork today. So I'm going to pop on 2 heavy springs and 1 medium spring. So that's 2 reds and 1 blue. So it's not as heavy as you might usually go with your footwork. It's just going to be for a little bit of mobility for the ankles and then getting some hip bridges. So 2 reds and a blue. Maybe just take 1 spring off of what you usually do with your double leg footwork. Foot bar is still all the way up. Our headrest is flat, so make sure headrest is down. And let's lie ourselves down and get into our footwork. We're gonna bring our head down onto the headrest, shoulders just gently up against those shoulder posts. We're gonna start with our tippy toes here on the foot bar. So ball of the foot comes onto the foot bar, our feet about hip width apart, heels are lifted. I'm gonna press out all the way and get into some nice walking. So legs are long, but make sure we're not hyperextending, our knees are not locked. From here, you're gonna inhale, drop the right heel under the bar as you bend the left knees, find our walking legs. Then exhale, lift onto the right tippy toes, we switch legs. Left heel drops under, right knee bends. We exhale, press up and lift. So it's a nice bit of mobility for the ankles, and I stretch through the calves and hamstrings. Again, make sure we're not locking out as you drop that heel under. And just going as far as your mobility allows. You might start to feel the ankles, the calves, the hammies all loosen up a little bit as you work through this. Wrapping toes around the bar, the ball of the foot is on the bar here. And we're focusing on keeping our pelvis nice and level. So as you work through this, maybe bring your hands to the hip bones and feel them staying super still. If you feel any movement, really think of zipping up that tight pair of jeans here. The hips should not be moving, that pelvis stays nice and still. Drawing in through the waist. Keep that pelvis nice and still. That's it. Exhale as you lift up onto those tippy toes. Let's go for another 10. Enjoy this nice little stretch and mobility for the ankles. Then we'll turn this into our double leg press. So get those quads a little bit warm before we get into our bridges. Both heels lift in 3, in 2, and 1. Lift both heels up. We're on both tippy toes. Now from here, we inhale to bend the knees, draw the carriage in towards the stopper. Exhale, extend those legs long. Now it's not as heavy as we might usually do in our double leg footwork. That's totally normal. That's what we want here. Not too heavy, just focusing on our form. Our heels stay lifted. We stay strong through our ankles. As you start to get that lower body warm gently here, because I promise there are some little cardio bursts coming in class, so enjoy this warm up while it lasts. Heels are staying lifted, squeezing through those quads to press the carriage out and squeeze those glutes at the top. Those hips are still staying nice and level. Tailbone is resting on the carriage that does not lift at any point. Beautiful. That's it, nice work. That's it. If you can do more, start to add a pulse at the bottom. Carriage comes in, pulse, pulse. Big press all the way out. Inhale, bring it in, pulse, pulse at the bottom. Exhale, big press all the way out. Those heels are still lifted like you have a stiletto heel on each foot. Keep lifting those heels up away from the bar. That's it. 10 more seconds here, then we pulse it out before our bridges. Beautiful. You've got the last 5. Just those pulses in 4, 3, 2, and let's bring it in halfway. Keep tension on those springs, little pulses here. Nice and smooth, nice and controlled. Oh my goodness, quads are firing up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and big press out for 1. Whew. Whose quaddies are nice and warm? Mine certainly are. Alrighty, let's bring our heels now, hip distance apart onto our foot bar. So half part of the heels is on. Again, our headrest should still be in its flattest position, so make sure that one's all the way down. Toes are flexed back towards you once those heels are on the bar. And our goal here is to keep the carriage completely still in at the stopper for our hip bridges. Now we're gonna stay in our neutral spine to keep that long, straight neutral spine. And from here, we exhale, press through the heels, we lift up into our bridge. Then inhale, we drop the hips straight back down. Exhale, we stay in our neutral lift, tucking the tailbone. Inhale, lower. Squeeze in the glutes, squeeze in the hammies at the top. To use the hammies, use the glutes to lift you up. Again, stay in that long neutral spine. We're not rolling to the pelvis. The spine stays nice and long, nice and neutral. That's it. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lower. Control that lower. Make sure when it does drop you onto the carriage, we're controlling it, but it is a little bit of a faster movement. That's it. Beautiful. We're going to start to work into some single leg marching in 5. Hold your bridge up in 4, 3, 2. On the next one, lift up into your bridge and we hold. Now we keep those hips completely still. Let's lift our right leg to tabletop, float that right foot off the bar. Lower the heel back down, hips stay still. Then float the left foot off the bar to tabletop. Lower the heel, then lower all the way down through your bridge. Try that again. Lift your bridge, hold. Keep those hips still and level. Right foot lifts to tabletop. Bring it back down. Left leg lifts to tabletop. Lower it back down with control. Then we lower our hips. Lift it back up. Again, each time you lift, 2 marches, 1 with each leg. Beautiful. Our goal is to keep those hips completely still as we march. Make sure we're not dropping through the hip. Imagine there's a plank of wood balancing across those hips. We're keeping nice and level. It's not tilting to one side. Really challenging that single leg control and strength, and really using that core to drawing in an imaginary core set around the belly. Keep the core switched on. You've got final 10. Then we're going to stay up in our bridge. Just those marching legs to finish here. Oh, of course, after some pulses to come after that, then we'll be done with this series. I lie. Let's hold up in 3, in 2, and 1. Hold your bridge. Keep those hips lifted. Just keep those marching legs going. To make this one a little bit more spicy, you lift those arms up. Take away the support of the arms. Going to make this one a little bit more challenging. Beautiful. You've got 10 seconds here. We're going to finish with some single leg pulses on each side. So in 6, I want that right leg to tabletop. We meet there in 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. Bring that right leg to tabletop. Hold the bridge. We're pulsing up and down through the hips. So pulsing through that left leg. Oh, she's spicy. Keep that core drawing in. Hips stay level for 5. We switch legs in 3, 2, and 1. Lift the hips, hold, drop that right heel down to foot bar. Let's lift that left leg to tabletop. Little pulses, that's it. Squeezing that glute, keep that core drawing in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Beautiful work, team. Let's just give those knees a quick little rock from side to side. Awesome work. Alrighty, let's come on up. We're going to change our springs now. Getting into some heavy scooters, a little lunge flows. It's kind of like a drop set or a superset here. We're starting on heavy springs. So we're going to go 1 red and 1 blue spring. So 1 heavy, 1 medium spring. Pop that on, nice and heavy for our scooters. Let's step on to the right side of our reformer onto the floor and set up for our scooter. So a nice heavy scooter coming up. Right foot's on the floor just beside your foot bar, nice and close to your railing. Just bring your left toes up against the shoulder post that's closest to you. So find a kind of lunge stance. We're going to bring our left hand down to the foot bar for support for our heavy scooters, and find that squat or single leg squat position through that right leg. So right knee is bent, our hips are pressing back. We're trying to tap your tailbone to the wall behind you. We're slightly hinging forward from our hips, core drawing up and in. Now use that foot bar for support here, bracing through the core. When you're ready, exhale, extend that left leg, scooter it out, then inhale, control it back in. Exhale, big strong press. Inhale, control it in. It's nice and heavy, yeah? Nice and strong. Right leg not moving an inch here. It is frozen in cement, or set in cement, I should say. Frozen there. Do not let that right leg move. Stabilizing through that glute, through our quad. Feel that right leg burning, as well as your left glute working. It's a big press of that carriage out. That's it. This is your heavy lunge work here. Use that foot bar for support. Focusing on power, strength, building muscle here. So good. Shoulders stay back away from ears. Give me another 12 seconds here. Then we're dropping down to a nice light blue spring. Whew. Core is drawing up and in. Use that for our pelvic stability. You've got final 6. That's it, powering through. We drop that red spring off in 4, 3, 2, and last one, big press. Woo, bring it in. Just drop that left knee down. Let's carefully take that red spring off now. So just on 1 blue, yeah? 1 blue spring, 1 medium to light spring on. Let's get into some light lunges. So same setup with our feet. You can bring both hands to hips now. Find your balance. Shoulders roll back and down. Both hips are facing forward. Get into our arabesque lunge. You're going to start to slide the carriage out. Left leg extends. And as you press the carriage back, you bend into that right knee. Find that arabesque lunge. Tipping chest forward. Then exhale, slowly come all the way back up and in. How good does that feel in that light spring now? So good after those heavy scooters. So it's like a little drop set or a little superset here for the legs. Just did our heavy strength work. Now getting into our light stability, balance, lunge work. Beautiful. Just take it nice and slow now, slowing down the heart rate, slowing down the breathing. My heart rate sure got up in that quick little spicy sequence. Beautiful. Now if you can do more, let's add a sweep of the arms. As you lunge, can we sweep those arms forward up in line with ears? Then we exhale, sweep them back behind hips as you close that carriage. And again, inhale, sweep those arms up, lunge it down. Exhale, drive up through that right heel, really squeezing the back of that right leg. Make sure right knee is staying stacked over ankle, it's not dropping out or in, and it's not pressing forward over the toes. Keep that knee back. Now in 8, we're adding in one scooter at the bottom. We know our scooter now, but no support for this one. In 4, hold your lunge. 3, 2, hold your lunge down. Freeze that right leg again. Bend the left knee, bend the elbows, draw the carriage in, extend the leg, extend the arms. We come all the way back up. Try that again. One lunge, hold that right leg frozen as you scooter the carriage in, bend the elbows, extend the arms, extend the leg. We come all the way up. Whew. Bit more time under tension for that right glute. That right hemi is starting to burn and shake. That's it, we got it. Keep that core lifted like you're pulling a really tight pair of jeans. Lower core is super important for our balance here. You've got final 8 seconds. Then we're just sticking with those spicy scooters. If you need to use the hand on the foot bar again at any point, feel free to. You've got last 4. That's it, we're holding down in 3, 2, hold your next lunge, freeze that right leg, bring the carriage in, extend it back. Beautiful. Right knee is over ankle, we're hinging forward, looking just in front of our foot bar or platform. You've got final 8. That's it. Pulses to finish. In 4, hold your lunge in 3, 2, 1. Hold that lunge, hold those arms long if we can. Little slow controlled pulses through the right leg, bouncing up and down. You've got 4. Hands to foot bar in 3. Hold that lunge in 2. And 1. Hands to foot bar, hold the lunge. Just sinking back into a nice little hip flexor stretch here. So right knee still bent, left leg is still long. Just find that nice little hip flexor stretch. Both hands are on the foot bar, nice and close to that right side corner. We're gonna work into some flying splits now. Get the heart rate up again. So to start with, we're gonna work in layers. You're gonna start to extend that right leg, draw the carriage in, just lift onto your right tippy toes, rounding through the belly as you pull that carriage in, shoulders over foot bar. And then we sink it back down to that nice little lunge stretch. Open up to that left hip flexor. And again, extend the right leg, coming up, lift onto right tippy toes, heel lifts, drop the heel, lunge it down. So as you lift those hips up, scooping to the lower belly, lift onto those right tippy toes, looking towards your pubic bone. This is your first layer. Right, it's gonna get spicy from here. Gonna work it up one by one into our full flying split. On the next one, we're adding a little pike with that right leg. So next we draw the carriage, you're gonna press down into the foot bar, and you're gonna lift your right toes off the floor, pike the hips up, closing the carriage, then lightly drop the right foot back onto the floor, finding our lunge. And again, exhale, carriage draws in, we lift those hips up to the ceiling, lifting the right foot, point those toes, then we drop it back down. Woo, she's getting spicy. Using our core, not too much shoulders here, so really focus on using the core to lift. Scooping that lower belly, pull belly button up to ceiling. This is your next layer. You can stay here if this is good for you. Otherwise, let's go into our tiger curl. Next time you pike those hips, let's pull our knee in towards our nose, then drop the leg back down, find your lunge. Exhale, shoulders over foot bar, knee to nose. That's it, so rounding through the belly for this one. This is your next layer. Again, you can stay here if this is you. Otherwise, in 5, full flying split. In 4, in 3, 2, and on the next one, as you lift up, you're gonna swing that right leg back behind you, up in line with hips, then drop it down into your lunge. Exhale, lift, swing that leg up. We're staying in our neutral spine for our flying split, so make sure we're not rounding through the back. Core stays strong, spine stays neutral. Find that neutral spine or tabletop back up in your flying split. Trying to close that carriage each time. Beautiful, using the core, make sure not too much shoulders here. Our shoulders do not go any further than the foot bar. Beautiful, no arching through that back. Leg just swings up in line with the hips, not too high. Beautiful, final 8 here. Let's start to pick up that pace. You can do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Well done, bring it down. Bring that carriage in. Oh my goodness. Close that carriage, give the legs a little shake out. How are you going? You still with me? Yeah? Alrighty, let's get into some upper body work now. So we're gonna start slow, then carefully build in to a bit more heavy upper body work. So springs for this one, we're gonna go slightly heavier again. We're gonna go either a blue step it up, if you have that option on your reformer. So blue stepped up, or blue yellow. So blue yellow is a medium and a light spring, otherwise just blue step it up. Perfect here. Now we're going to come into some kneeling front rowing work. So if you can't kneel on your knees like so, grab your box and do this one seated. It'll be a bit more low intensity. Otherwise, we're kneeling down, our hips are down onto our heels and our knees are nice and wide for our balance and support. Let's reach back and grab on to both of our short straps. Now we're starting with some bicep curls. So I want you to reach those arms slightly back behind you. I want you to slightly float those hips off your heels. You're in a little lift through those hips, but not too high. Core is engaged, shoulders back away from ears. From here, let's exhale, bicep curl, hands to shoulders. Then inhale, release those arms long by the hips. Exhale, bicep curl. Inhale, release. Working those quads, working our core as we're in that little hip lift. That's not for you, just keep those hips down to heels. But wherever we are, we're hinging forward to find that extra range here for our bicep curls. Now she's going to get spicy from here, adding one layer at a time. You can always stick with the previous layer if that is best for you. My goodness, I am starting to sweat. Anyone else with me? It's not called a sweat class for no reason, guys. Alrighty, next layer coming up in 8. We're going to add an offering and a hip lift. So in 5, we hold our bicep curl. In 3, 2, and on the next one, we curl, hold. Let's lift the hips, press those arms forward into our offering. Lower the hips, find that hinge, and release the bicep curl. So curl, press, nice and fast and smooth. So we're adding that hip lift. Okay, if that's not for you, just keep the hips down to heels. But if we're adding that hip lift, let's try and never let those hips touch our heels. So really feel those quads starting to burn. Beautiful, shoulders are staying down away from ears. Hello, quads, warming up. In 10, we're taking out that bicep curl, just that offering with that hip lift if we can. Keep shoulders down away from ears. That's it, last 4, 3, 2, and let's go on the next one. Offering, hip lift only. Keep those palms facing the ceiling, like you're offering a tray of drinks out in front of you. That's it, give me final 10 here. We have a quick little reset, then getting into some chest presses. Last 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Whew, come on down. Oh my goodness, quads on fire. A little roll of those shoulders if you need. Thanks, have out those quads. Whew, mine are burning. Alrighty, coming into some chest presses now. So for this one, you're gonna take your elbows nice and wide. Palms are facing the floor now. I want you to roll those shoulders back and down. Our chest is nice and tall. So sitting up like we're against an imaginary brick wall. Hips are down to heels to start. Make sure the straps are coming underneath your elbows here as well for comfort. From here, let's exhale, double arm chest press. Inhale, bend those elbows nice and wide. Exhale, double arm chest press. Those arms come in line with shoulders as you press. Watching those upper traps are staying down and relaxed. Shoulders away from ears. This is your little bit of recovery here. Then we add in those hip lifts in 8. Start to get those hips moving again if you'd like more in 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's go. Chest press, hip lift. Lower the hips, bend the elbows. Tucking that tailbone as we rise up. And also if it gets too strong at any point here, you can always grab those long straps. That'll make it a little bit nicer. Alrighty, in 5, let's turn this into a single arm press with rotation. In 3, single arm press in 2, and 1. Next time you press, right arm presses, we rotate to the left, come back down. Left arm presses, rotate to the right. So we're rotating away from the arm as we extend, but keep those hips facing forward. We're rotating from the waist up. Get those obliques saying hello. That's it, that's too strong for you. Try the long loops or just stay with that double arm press. You got final 8 here. Not too long to go. We get to lie down after this for 4. Give me 3, 2, and 1. Woohoo! Well done. Hang those long loops up on their poles for a moment. Alrighty, we're gonna lie ourselves down now, get into a little bit of core work to let heart rate come down. So let's lie ourselves down, head on the headrest. Whew. Much needed, a little bit of recovery here. Who else is dripping? I certainly am. Alrighty, feet are starting on our foot bar. We're gonna reach back once you're laying down and grab onto both of our short straps from behind us. So now for some oblique curl up. So I want you to shuffle just slightly away from your shoulder pads. You have a bit of room here to curl up. Now when you're ready, you have tension on your spring or springs. Hands are drawn over our shoulders, that carriage opens. Let's lift our legs to tabletop one at a time. And I want your knees separated just wider than hip width here. So they're nice and wide because we are going to be diving one hand between them. So you want a bit of space for that hand to go. Now for our oblique curl up, let's start by reaching our right arm out to the right side of our body on a 45-degree angle. Then left hand is going to come directly over your chest in the center of your body. Beautiful. Arms are going to work together for our curl up. When you're ready, exhale, we curl up, left hand dives between the knees, right hand draws into right hip. When you inhale, you lower your chest back down, arms reset to that starting position. Exhale, left hand dives between the knees, right hand draws to right hip, we lower down. Just that left hand diving between the knees, we're doing one side at a time. As you curl up, feel that left shoulder blade lifting off the carriage. Imagine like you're trying to slide that left shoulder to meet your right hip. Feel that oblique switching on across the body. To jaw drawing down, ribs slide down to hips. This is your first leg, you're gonna stay here, this is you. Or on the next one, we're adding a leg extension. Hold your next curl up, hold. Can we extend our left leg nice and long? Bend the knee back over hip. We lower all the way back down and repeat. Exhale, hold that curl. Extend the leg, point the toes. Bend the knee, we lower back down. That's it, keep lifting that left shoulder up as high as you can, but keep shoulders down away from ears. You've got final 10 seconds here. We're just gonna stick with that leg to finish in 5. Hold your curl up. 3, there in 2. And on the next one, hold that curl up, dive that left hand between the legs, just that extension, and bend, extend, exhale, pull it in. That's it, oh my goodness, obliques on fire. We lower down in 4, in 3, 2, and 1, lower down. Have a quick little reset for a moment. Alrighty, ready to go straight on the other side? Alrighty, breaks over, let's go. Right hand comes to ceiling, over the chest, left arm out to that 45-degree angle. And let's lift those legs to tabletop once you have tension on the springs. Again, those knees are apart, there's enough room to dive that right hand between the knees. Find that core engagement, core drawing down. And we exhale, right hand dives between the knees, left hand draws to left hip. Inhale, we lower back down. This time, right shoulder blade lifting off the carriage, right shoulder drawing across to our left hip. Just that right side only now. Keeping those knees completely still, no cheating, no drawing them in towards the chest. They stay over hips. And as those arms lift to ceiling, they stop at shoulder height. So always staying in front of those shoulder posts. Let's take it, drawing that core down like we've got a really tight pair of jeans. Can we start to add that leg extension on the next one? Curl up, hold. This time, right leg extends. Point those toes. Bend the knee. We lower back down. And again, curl up, hold, extend just the right leg. Point the toes. Bend the knee. Lowering down. Beautiful. That's it. Keep it going. You're doing so well here. In 8, we hold that curl, just that leg, if we can. In 4, 3, 2, and let's go, hold that curl up, keep reaching those fingertips nice and long, right shoulder is lifted, just here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and come on down for 1. Amazing work, team. Just close that carriage, pop those long straps on their poles, just open those arms out to the side and give those knees a quick little rock from side to side. Because guess what? We're coming straight up now to do those lunges and flying splits on the other side. So when you're ready, just sit yourself up. Let's change our springs back to start on that red, blue. So 1 heavy, 1 medium spring. So red, blue, whatever we use on the first side of our heavy scooters. And let's get ourselves set up. So stepping onto this time the left side of your reformer. Left foot comes to the floor just beside your foot bar, nice and close to the rail. And this time right foot's going to step up against your shoulder post. Bring right hand onto the foot bar for support, left hand to hip. We'll find that nice deep bend through that left knee like a single leg squat. Hips and tailbone are pressing back to the wall behind you. Find that hinge from the hips, core drawing up and in like a really tight pair of jeans. When you're ready, inhale, prepare. Exhale, we extend that right leg straight back. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, power out. Inhale, pull it in with control. That left leg does not move an inch. Keep the upper body frozen still here. Use that right hand on the foot bar for support. Whew. Holy moly, this one's feeling spicy straight away. Keep those hips pointing forward. Don't let that right hip rotate. Imagine there's a headlight on that right hip. Whew. Keep it pointing forward. Eye gaze just down in front of your platform onto the floor. That left leg is not moving. Checking in, left knee is over ankle. Beautiful, watching our alignment here. Almost there. We get to lighten our springs up. Give me 12 seconds here. Use that breath. Pushing through, we're building muscle. Get a little bit lower. That's it. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it in for 1. Drop that right knee for a second. Let's drop off that heavy spring. Red spring comes off, just leaving that one blue spring on. Come on up. Let's get into our light lunges. So hands come to hips, slowing it down now. Both hips are pointing forward, shoulders down away from ears. Arabesque lunge. We extend that right leg, press the carriage out, and bending into that left leg nice and low. Exhale, press through the heel, come all the way up. Oh my goodness, is anyone else shaking? My quad is full shaking. That's it, working all those little stabilizers. You might feel it start to shake. Totally normal. Second side is often the hardest. The single leg work is so good for our body. Evening out any muscle imbalances we might have from side to side. Keep drawing that core up and in as you lunge. Think of zipping up that really tight pair of jeans, core drawing in. It's going to help keep the pelvis nice and stable, hips nice and level. If we can, let's add those arms. Lunge and reach those arms in line with shoulders, in line with ears, and sweep them down and back. Sit biceps reaching in line with ears. That's more like it. Yes. Find that nice deep bend through that left leg. Again, left knee staying stacked over ankle. Beautiful. We add our scooter in 5. Holding our lunge down in 3. There in 2. And on the next one, hold your lunge. Freeze that left knee. We inhale, bend the right leg, bend the elbows. Press it back out, come all the way back up. That's it. Slowly we lower down. Hold that left leg frozen. 1 scooter. Right knee pulls in. Press it out. Come all the way up. That's it. Oh my goodness. My quads are full spasm out here. Keep it going. I'm right there with you, team. Stay with me. Not here for too much longer. Give me final 8 in this spicy combo. Then just those scooters into our flying split series after this to finish off those legs. You've got 3. We stay down in 2 and hold that left leg down. Hold that single leg lunge or squat through that left leg. Just that scooter in and out through that right leg here. Nice and slow. Keep those arms working if we can, but remember foot bars there if right arm needs to come down for support. Give me final 8. Can you sink a little bit lower? Pulse is coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, reach it out, hold, little pulses through that left leg. Keep core lifted, shoulders down, 4, 3, hands to foot bar in 2, and 1. Hold that lunge, press that carriage out. Find that nice little stretch for a moment here. Both hands on the left side of your foot bar. Starting with that rock forward for our flying split series. Draw the carriage in, lifting onto our left tippy toes, right leg stays long, and then we rock it back down, find that lunge. And again, shoulders drop over foot bar, belly scoops, carriage draws in towards the stopper, lifting to left heel. That's it, beautiful. Heel lifts onto our tippy toes as we rock forward. A little bit of recovery here before we get into those flying splits. Belly drawing up. Make sure shoulders are just coming over foot bar, no further. As that carriage comes in, you can always stay here. Or in 5, we add that little pike of the hips. In 3, 2, and 1. Next time carriage comes in, pike those hips up, left leg stays long, point the toes, close the carriage, float it slowly back down, find your lunge. And again, exhale, shoulders over foot bar, pike those hips up, left foot lifts, point the toes, sink it down. Enjoy that nice little reset. Core is drawing that carriage up. Try and close it each time, yeah? That's it, point the toes, eye gaze to pubic bone as you round through the belly. Beautiful, 5 to go. Then we're into our tiger curl. In 3, in 2, and 1. Next time the carriage draws in, knee to nose, round through the belly, pull it up, then softly land back down, lunge. And again, exhale, scoop that lower belly, knee to nose. Beautiful. Again, this is your next layer. You can always stay here if you need. Again, not too much of the shoulders here. Shoulders stay back over foot bar, not in front. In 5, final layer, flying split if we can. In 3, 2, let's go, flying split. Swing that leg back behind you, up in line with the hips. Control it down. Again, staying in our neutral spine now. Whew. It's getting hard to talk through this one. Heart rate is up. Doing so well here. Final bit of work for those legs. 1 little series to go after this, then we're done. Keep that beautiful long neutral spine as you lift. No rounding if we're going to that flying split. Heel reaching in line with hips, no higher. Whew. Beautiful. Give me the last 8 here. You got it. 5. Keep drawing that core up for 3. Last 2. And make this your last one. And come on down. Oh my goodness. Draw that carriage in. Look at those legs. A little shake out. Oh my goodness. Oh, my legs are full shaking. Alrighty. Last bit of class here today, guys. Almost there. We're going to come back onto those springs we did for our front rowing arms. That was either a blue step it up or a blue yellow. So slightly heavy, coming into some upper back work now to finish off class. So blue step it up or blue yellow, whatever is available for you. We're going to turn around, facing towards our shoulder post now. Bring your knees right up against your shoulder posts. You want them nice and wide again for your balance and support, so make sure against those shoulder posts. We're going to grab onto both of our short straps, cross them over. Now, I want you to walk your hands up and grab on just above the knots or above the clasps on those straps, just to add a bit more tension here. If we can, carefully, we're going to rise up into a high kneel. But again, if you're not happy kneeling, you can always grab your blocks and this one seats it on the box as well, or cross-legged, whatever feels good for you here. Now, coming into a high, wide row, I want you to turn those palms down to the floor, roll your shoulders down away from ears. Our core is on for our balance, super important here. Our tailbone is tucked, starting nice and slow. You're gonna exhale, roll those elbows high and wide in line with shoulders. Then inhale, control it back in. Exhale, row high and wide. Inhale, control it back in. Beautiful. If you need more tension here to make it heavier, just walk your hands further up those ropes away from the straps. The further you go, the heavier it will feel. Beautiful. Imagining there's a blueberry sitting in the center of your upper back. Each time you row, I want you to try and pop that blueberry with your shoulder blades. So really drawing shoulder blades into the center of our upper back. Yes, that's it. Feel that upper back working. Keep your upper traps relaxed, shoulders away from ears. So good. Now we're going to start to add a hip lift and lower. Next time you release those arms long, can we lower our hips down to heels? As you row, lift those hips, tuck that tailbone. Lower the hips, release those straps, lift the hips, tuck the tailbone. Again, you're welcome just to stay in that low kneel or that high kneel. If you're seated, you're just going to sit on that box. No movement of those hips. Okay, final layer coming up in 8. We're going to turn this into a single arm bow and arrow or single arm row with rotation. We'll start with that left arm in 3, in 2, and 1. Release those arms long. As you lift the hips, you're going to draw left elbow up and back. Rotate to that left elbow. Come back down through center. Right elbow draws back, alternating sides. Come back through center. Opposite arm just reaches long, taking all the tension with that single strap as you row and rotate. Again, both hips to stay facing forward towards those pulleys. Rotation comes from the waist up. Sit, keep tailbone tucked. Beautiful. If this is too much, just stick with that double arm row, totally fine. It's your final little bit of class here. We're going to finish with some double arm pulses in 10. Love upper back work to finish class. Super important for our posture. It's going to help strengthen all those upper back muscles. In 4, double arm row, we hold. In 3, in 2, and on the next one, double arm row, hold. Can you find that high kneel? Little pulses, tailbone is tucked. Slow and control, keep elbows up, shoulders down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down carefully. Uncross those straps, well done. Pop your loops back where they live, and let's just find a straddle position over our carriage for a couple of stretches here. So One foot comes to each side, bum is on the carriage, we're seated, toes and knees just turning out to the sides of the room, and a nice sumo stance. Let's take our right hand across to our opposite shoulder post, holding to the outside. Then take your left arm up and overhead, finding a mermaid over to that right side. So open up through that left side waist, feel those ribs fanning open, and just pulling on that shoulder post for a little bit more tension, a little bit of resistance here to really open up through that side waist. Doesn't that feel good after our sweat class? Who else is dripping? I know I certainly am. I hope I'm not the only one. Whew, that got spicy. Let's hold here for one more nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, you can release it back down. Let's swap sides, over to the other side. Left hand reaches across the opposite shoulder post. And then reach that right arm up overhead, mermaiding over to that left side. Open up through that right side waist. Nice stretch to the shoulder. Stretch for the core and obliques. And just letting that heart rate slowly come down. Taking nice deep breaths here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And you can release that stretch. Let's just swing our leg over the carriage, just facing one side. Let's just cross our right ankle over our left knee. And if you can, just find a little hinge forward from the hips. We're not rounding through our back. Keep a nice long spine as you hinge. Everyone's range will be different here depending on how tight your hips are. Should be a nice little stretch and release for those glutes as well as the right hip. With every exhale, can we hinge a little bit further? My hips are super tight, so I can't get too low with this one. So again, find what range feels good for you. Hope that feels quite nice, little release. Let's take one more nice deep breath here. And you can release that stretch as you exhale it. Switch sides, other side, left ankle crosses over right knee. You can just press that knee gently down. And again, just finding what range feels good on this side. Totally normal, I feel a little bit tighter, a little bit looser. My left hip is certainly tighter. Just breathing into it, maybe with every exhale, you can get a little bit further, but keep that spine nice and long. We're not rounding here. Shoulders stay back and down. Ah, feels so good after all that glute work today. Those heavy scooters, whew, spicy. Alrighty team, and when you're ready, bring that foot back down. And that is your sweat reformer class done today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys got a good sweat on. I know I certainly did. Absolute burnout. I look forward to seeing you guys back here next time for another class. Bye.